Grew up between a beach in Rome and Venice. So when I was going the summer with my dad, I was living in what do you say, a nudist beach, you know, sleeping in a tent, you know, living, you know, the nature, like strong, you know. Natural, but like every 3 months I was going back to the north and I was having this more conservative kind of life because it was a small town close to Venice. So I definitely felt the clash, the cultural clash between, you know, the education from my dad and the education from my mother. That, thank God, it was there, you know. Otherwise, who knows? I would be naked in a beach still, you know, like fishing. No, but I have to say that was a really interesting childhood, for sure. I left my hometown and I never studied English at that point. Arrived without knowing a culture, without knowing a language, without knowing nobody. I started to meet, you know, people and create my own little world. At that point I met Jules, which you know very well. And we're still, you know, hanging out. So it was definitely like a good choice for me to, you know, give up about security and go into a country that I didn't know at all. I have to say in New York I found like a good place to express myself, and it's always a really receptive place. And I showed for the first time this series of portraits shot with an old school passport picture camera. It's like it's a plastic box, you know, with 4 lenses, and it's like has a built-in flash. So when I was going to shoot, you know, personalities and stuff, I always was carrying this camera and was really quick. Like in 30 seconds, you can take like 10 portraits. You know, I'm gonna start with one of my favorite pieces. It's Raymond Pettibon. Yeah. And he's you know, a former member of Black Flag, and he designed all the cover of Black Flag, and also the famous 4-square black rectangle logo from Black Flag was designed by him. I wanted to shoot him, so I made my way to him, and I contacted his gallery and his studio, and I just proposed him to shoot, you know. So I called another artist, Scott Campbell, which is like a younger artist, a different generation than Raymond, but in a way they're part of the same field. It was a really interesting talk that these two had, and I recorded Jules, Kim, witness the conversation and made an introduction for a piece that we made for Days and Confused. So like all these people, it's people that I met either for my personal interest or like for work, and like Mathieu Kassovitz, which I shot for a European brand at that point. I composed this, you know, cross portraits, and it's interesting because, you know, these lines make kind of complex the figure. This is Anna Kras, an artist from New York, based in New York, but she's from Belgrade, and she's the face of the exhibition basically. Larry Clark, you know, and for me Larry Clark is a great inspiration since Tulsa. Yeah. I love his way and passion on the subject, the way he relates with his kids. It's something that, you know, drives me and inspires me big time. That's another big inspiration, life-wise and artistic-wise. And it's my girlfriend, my partner, and she's an amazing mind and happy to do jewelry. But I'm sure if she would do anything, will like be cool, you know. As you see,
he wants an autograph.
P-I-E, Jogora-E.
Have you given many autographs?
no, I was the first one. As you see, here I was talking about creating a line, and here it is a sort of like line of characters, and you have Ralph Gibson. He's Scott Campbell, and he's a tattoo artist and fine artist. That's him and his wife. And this is like Mark Gonzalez, which is a skateboarder, but like quite a performer artist in a way, you know, through skateboarding. And the way he skates, the way he interprets the skateboard on his painting, it's really unique and it's an icon of the culture. And this is like Xander Ferreira, a South African musician, really interesting. And talking about music, we have Rodigan, one of the biggest reggae DJs in the world. He's English, but he spent a lot of time in Jamaica. And when he plays his 45 inches, it's like just fire. Really, really cool.
I love the way they're
split in two.
Yeah.
Here in these two, you can see the texture of the film, which was Polaroid and has like a sort of dots that other prints doesn't have, because it was a really old film that got discontinued as well. So, and another thing about this project is that those films would be sooner than later discontinued, you know. And I wanted to present at least a big selection of portraits shot in the past 15 years. Before
How many do you have? You selected these from thousands, right?
Yeah, I think these one are like 100 images, but I have way more. I was impressed by the clash culture that I had in Japan. You know, even if I was like kind of familiar with the iconography of Japan, because kids of my generation in Italy grow up only with Japanese cartoon. Beside the Japanese cartoon, you have the American series,
Sure,
you know.
yeah.
So like when I arrived to
Pop culture.
yeah, you know, we literally like feed, you know, with American TV and Japanese cartoon. So for me, going to Japan was also like reconnect with a certain kind of iconography that I built when I was a kid. It was really, really cool.
And where's next after this?
I'm looking forward to go back to New York and to find familiar places, you know. But next up I'm gonna do is a show in Australia.
Really, where?
In Melbourne during the Independent Festival of Photography.
Great. Thank you.